So today we are going to talk about a wonderful problem to have, and that is having too much vegetables or having vegetables all just come into fruiting and ripening all at the same time. If you've got a surplus of tomatoes, of zucchinis, of cherry tomatoes, I have some tips that are going to help you make the most of those garden harvests. The first thing you want to do is just assess and prioritize. Take a look at everything that you have right now currently and everything that's going to come to full fruit maybe in the next couple of weeks. I'm in the middle of August, so I've got tomatoes, zucchini, and okra green beans coming in currently. But I also have all this corn that's not quite ready, but when it's ready, I will need to preserve this. So you're going to assess what needs to be done first. So you're going to base that on the shelf life, what's going to go bad first, and what is currently coming in right now. Preserve for later. So there are some things that I just cannot preserve or get to right now because there's such an abundance coming in from the garden. So there are different things that you can do for preserving. You can freeze, or you can dehydrate. What I tend to not do right now is can because it is so hot, and for me it's a little time consuming with homeschooling and littles. So the things that I'm going to can, or things that I can use later, I'm going to freeze. So my jalapenos, my bell peppers, I cut up and froze those. My tomatoes, I'm going to wash those. I'm going to core them and I'm going to freeze them. So when I have time to get to those, I can use them. Now, you're not going to use what you have frozen. You're not going to eat it fresh. So keep in mind, if you're going to use those, you're going to use like tomatoes for, ketchup, for sauces, for tomato soups, anything that you're going to cook, you can freeze. My jalapenos, I usually use those in sauces or salsas. So I am totally fine because I'm going to roast them when I cook them. Another way that I usually do things is like our cucumbers and our cherry tomatoes that are coming in, I like to dehydrate those. I use cucumber chips, but I also dehydrate my cherry tomatoes so that I can eat them through pastas. I do not put them in olive oil because I feel like they're not as shelf stable when I use them as olive oil. But when I dehydrate my cherry tomatoes and put them in the mason jar, they last me literally all the way till next season if they last that long. Step 3 is share with neighbors. If you are absolutely just swamped for time and you do not want your stuff to go bad, I've got a couple of neighbors here that I can give my produce to. My cherry tomatoes, my zucchini, my okra. So anything that maybe you don't have enough time to get to, or it's just like a busy schedule with kids going back to school, whatever it may be, share that abundance with neighbors. I kid you not. Your neighbors 9 times out of 10 will say yes and thank you and be waiting for you to come back with more later. Number 4 would be to donate to local organizations. So there are so many different organizations, or you can go to your for free page and say, hey, I've got cucumbers, I've got tomatoes for free. A lot of times on the for free sites I see on Facebook, I see that a lot of people are searching for them. And it's currently right now in the season we're in when inflation is wild, I guarantee that if your neighbors aren't going to take them, someone is going to take them for free online. They're probably going to come to you, pick them up, whatever you want to do. Donate to your local food shelters, your local churches. I guarantee someone is in need of food, and your extra abundance is going to be somebody's blessings. Number 5, if you've got an abundance of things and say you have already dehydrated as much as you could, froze as much as you can, try out some different recipes and experiment. At this point, you've got so much that you can take the extra chance to have something go wrong. So if you've never made cowboy candy, if you've never tried to dehydrate okra, and you want to try and experiment, this is the time to experiment. You're not going to feel bad about the whole crop that you just did going to waste for an experiment. So this is that phase where you're going to want to try all those little cool things you see on Pinterest or on Instagram and try them out. See if you like them. You can mess up. It is okay to mess up and fail and not have it be great because you already know you've got stuff stocked away in your freezer. You've got stuff dehydrated, and it is okay if this does not work out. Number 6, if you have maybe had something that has now gone bad. For me, I had beets that I washed, I had boiled, and then something happened and then they just went bad. The thing that I did with them is I pulled them out of the trash after I cried and I put them in my compost. You can still use those things to feed your soil and go give back to that self-sustainable system that you are trying to create. So compost them, break them down, Give them to people who are trying to compost. I guarantee you that is an amazing circle of life for your garden. So there you have it. There are a few strategies that you can use to deal with the abundance that you have got continuously coming in with your garden. I know as a backyard gardener, this harvest season, August, can be so overwhelming, but I hope that these tips can help ease that pain and maybe take a little bit of that burden off of your shoulders. So as always, friends, you are wonderful. Be kind to yourself. If this was helpful, make sure that you share to somebody and let me know, what are some things that you do down below that helps with your overabundance? As always, friends, bye!